This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Shirts for the Scene. Head over to the popkoproject.com and you can purchase your favorite band t-shirt today. We are raising money for the local artist in Northeastern Pennsylvania whose income was drastically affected by COVID-19 in 2020. And although we're in a new year, bands will continue to struggle to perform like they once did. So grab a shirt, support a band. The proceeds of each sale go right to the bands whose shirt you are buying. Once again, head over to thepopkoproject.com and grab your shirt today. Shirts for the Scene is made possible by Axelrad Screen Printing. Visit them today at axelradarmy.com. My guests today are members of a soul and R&B group from Northeastern Pennsylvania. We discussed their new album called Language, which is available streaming everywhere, and how they recorded it during a pandemic. We also get into the history of the band, their new rehearsal space, live streams and live shows, the Bernie meme, Facebook tracking everyone, and more. Welcome to the show, The Tribe. And we're live with The Tribe.
How's it going?
Hey,
What's going on?
Nothing much, man.
The whole gang's here. The whole gang's here. That's good.
Yeah, dude.
I always and it's good too because a lot of times I'll have like groups with like 4 different members who are elsewhere, and the issue is we'll end up talking over one another just by complete accident because there's a lag and there's internet and all that kind of stuff. So good to have you guys in the same room.
Of course.
Yeah.
So
tried to organize that for you.
Awesome. And you guys look good too. You look like a band. Oh man. Did you guys get kicked out of Facebook last night?
I don't know. I did. I noticed that.
What?
I wasn't on Facebook when it happened, but I opened it and I had to like re-sign in for whatever reason.
So did I. So I just saw someone posted. It looks like everyone who got booted from Facebook did it because they added a new tracking feature. It's in your settings on an iPhone. So I went into my settings on my iPhone, went to privacy, and sure as shit, there's a little thing that says allow apps to request to track. And mine was on.
And it still kicked you out?
Well, no, I turned my shit off. I don't know if they did that and it automatically turned on when they did what they did. But I turned mine off. So heads up, if you have an iPhone and you don't want to be tracked on the apps, turn that shit off.
Johnny, I got my first fact check yesterday. I made a meme that was basically about the Bernie Sanders meme.
Okay.
And I got fact checked for false information. And it said like I was talking about Black Lives Matter or something. And I'm like, that has nothing to do with what I posted.
What was your meme?
It was, that Tom Hanks meme where it's like, and then all of a sudden, everybody knew how to make memes. That's all it said. All of a sudden, everybody knew how to make memes just because everybody was Bernie. Yeah,
Sure. Yeah, it was. It was getting a little out of control. I mean, I enjoyed it the first day. It was funny, and people were doing it like really clever. Like the stuff with Knobles was good, and like even like the actual photoshopping was well done, right? But then it was just complete chaos, and Bernie was everywhere, and it wasn't even well done. He was just like sitting on the side of the road. And I saw that you could actually, there was an app or a website you can go to. You could type in the address, and it would just place Bernie at the address you requested, which was pretty neat. But it wasn't well done. It was just it was
Throughout the whole podcast, we'll just review memes. Like if you're down,
we could do that. But I'm over Bernie. I'm over the Bernie memes.
I think what's amazing about the Bernie memes, like it might have had like the quickest life cycle of any meme. Because you said like a day, you liked the first day. I liked it the first 4 hours.
like 20 minutes.
It was too much after the first 4 hours.
Yeah, it was a lot. And day 2 was no good. But
no,
there are worse things, right?
yes.
And so let's talk about the good stuff. So The Tribe, thank you for joining me today. You guys have a lot going on. You just released a new album at the end of December. So obviously I want to get into that. And that is called Language. You've got some live shows. I think you got a live show or a live stream tonight. You got some stuff coming up with live streams. So I guess let's start with the history of the tribe, because when I first was introduced to you guys, it was Jordan Ramirez in the tribe, correct?
Yeah.
Now
Yeah.
it's just the tribe. So did Jordan say, guys, like, I don't want my name as the forefront of this. Let's just be the tribe, or how did that work out?
He actually said that from the beginning.
Yeah.
He didn't want it to be Jordan Ramirez and anything, but the way that the band formed was he was playing a solo show at the Jazz, and 2 weeks before the show, he just decided to reach out randomly on Facebook to see if he wanted to play with them, and he was just going to throw together a band and have fun with it. And that's how the tribe happened. So it was, I think our first show, we might have even been called like the Jordan Ramirez Band or something like weird like that.
Yeah.
But after that, we just kind of had it in our heads, well, it's Jordan, we want to keep the Jordan Ramirez sort of vision and imagery, with what we're doing. So we came up with the tribe, because it didn't feel as exclusive. Like, here's Jordan, and here's the tribe. They're working together to make this happen. We finally reached a point as a band where, all of our visions and all of our contributions there so aligned, so integrated that it's like there is no Jordan Ramirez in the tribe.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Let's go around the room real quick. We'll start with Jordan, and then we'll go, if I'm looking at you guys, we'll go counterclockwise. Who you are and what the role is in the band.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
So we'll go around the room. Tell me who you are and what your role is in the band. We'll start with Jordan, and we'll go counterclockwise.
I'm Jordan. I'm a singer and I play rhythm guitar.
Cool.
I'm Mike. I play bass.
Chris, drums.
Angelo, I play keyboards.
My name's Carl, and I play saxophone and flute.
And I'm Andrew, and I play guitar.
Cool. So Carl is responsible for the horns in the song Bamba that I love.
Yeah, that's me.
You had a great horn line, man.
It is.
Thank you.
It like really pulled that song together. It's just
It was great. It's just kind of like I heard the idea for the song, and it just kind of came out how it's supposed to.
Yeah, I love it. I think I played it on my show when I had a show.
Yeah.
And he played Red Flag too.
Yes, I
Yeah.
did.
We appreciate it a lot.
Yeah, no problem. I missed that show already, but it is what it is, right?
Sure.
But so tell me a little bit about Language. It released in December 30th last year. So it's a little less than a month old right now. It's available on all the streaming services, but was that recorded before the pandemic hit, or did you guys kind of work on that during the pandemic?
we worked on it during the pandemic. Like
I feel like it was right around then.
We
were like-
we just we put highlights out right around February.
Right before.
Yeah.
I think highlights came out like February 20 something. Like, so it was like right before the pandemic is when we were gearing up to do it,
Right.
But
it was like we plan on releasing that single and then playing a bunch of shows. February was cool.
we did like every weekend that month and during the weeks.
Yeah.
So it was like it stunk a lot.
Yeah.
You to say, but we changed gears and decided to start producing stuff. We could do it remotely. Like Chris was sending drum tracks from his house.
Yeah, thank God for technology, right?
Yeah.
Seriously.
I mean, even outside of musicians, I mean, I don't know how we would have, as a world, been able to move forward without technology. The ability to order food and groceries and all that kind of stuff, and delivery services and this, that, the other thing. I mean, I don't think we could have.
They like let you survive through the last 9 months.
Yeah, I mean, as much as I hate technology at times, I mean, I'm definitely thankful for it too, because I don't know what we would have done. But in your case, you were able to create a full record, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say we definitely wouldn't have been able to work on the record. That would have been hard.
The interesting thing about it too is, like, since it was very remotely done between all of us. It's just now that we're actually learning how to play these songs.
Yeah.
We've had very little as far as rehearsal go.
I think we've rehearsed the new songs probably more than we've ever rehearsed any of the other songs, which was like nice to do, you know, like we played them for the first time last night and they felt really good and solid, which I think was like a new Tribe.
Right.
A new Tribe feel. It's not just totally gun it and go like Trial by Fire style.
Yeah.
Because that's usually how we do it.
Did you have a show last night?
We did a stream here in the loft that we're actually in now. It was done by Pollen Consolidated and Sanco Sounds. It's called the Covert Concert Series.
Okay.
So we did a stream with them last night, and then we're playing here again tonight in Reading at the distillery. And then Tuesday we're playing the Sellersville Theater on another like live stream. That's more like VH1 Storytellers kind of thing.
That's cool.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
Yeah, we're in the room though, like. wonder if we can
Yeah,
turn it.
I was gonna say we're gonna give you
Can we
a
do
first-hand
this?
view. It's a cool like rehearsal.
Oh, that's neat.
Pretty
loft,
cool, right?
Live stream space.
All right.
And our buddies that we've worked with in Reading for the last 2 years almost, I think, maybe a year and a half since we've worked with Rich. And they actually just, I don't know, man. They're always trying to help us out and do cool things with us. So we're thankful to them too. You know?
Yeah, it's been interesting to see. Like a lot of bands have been forced to, do these live streams, and it's always cool to see, bands do it when it's not just like their bedroom. Not that there's anything wrong with that, because we're kind of forced to, we're limited in what we can do and where we can go. But it's been neat to see bands kind of be creative in the space that they're doing these live streams from.
Absolutely. I think it's hard too to do it at home. It's not easy. It takes a lot of work, money.
Right.
It takes a lot of calibration.
What stinks too is like these guys are actively searching for funding, because if you could see all the tiny parts that go into it, like the amount of cables that they have across the room, and it's so organized and nice. They do an amazing job with video production. Definitely encourage you guys to check out the stream of it.
Yeah.
On the corporate concert series, but it's so much work, and they're not making, not doing it for money. But it's so meaningful now when people are looking for good content and like a high quality sound.
It's like it would take $1,000. It would take thousands of dollars for somebody at home to do like what we were able to do last night with these guys, and these guys like have actually made it to a point like you'd want to go with them instead of trying.
It was a really great experience overall. Professional, friendly, and I think that's important too. Like, just as from like one worker to another, we're working with the music, they're working with the sound. Like, it's good to have that good relationship. And I felt like welcome, like I was playing at home or in the castle basement.
Streaming is tough. So
On a personal note, some musicians who are trying streaming out now might be experiencing like we all got texts from like family members after the stream was. Our families, I believe at least all of our families are very
yeah.
but it is tough for them to get out and show. They don't get out to watch the show. So, I got to put on a show.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's cool. It is. There's something about it. It's not just, streaming a personal, it's trying to wrap your head around. It's not live stream. It's a concert.
Yeah.
Watch a concert.
Big difference.
Gotcha. I don't know why, but I'm having a really hard time hearing, and it's only you. I forget your name already. I apologize. Behind Jordan.
Mike.
Mike, I was going to call you Mike, but yeah, I don't know why. It's just you. It's just you cut out. I don't know why. I can hear everybody else fine except for you.
I was just saying this morning, or
It was last night.
Mike talks softly. I do too.
Yeah.
We're probably not going to hear much from this side.
I could sit next to Mike because we ride a lot together to the shows, and I'll be sitting next to him in the car. And I have to say what every time he speaks. Like, what, dude? What did you just say?
It's weird though, because I mean, it's just like it sounds like he's cutting out because I can hear it, but it cuts out, and it's like your phone doesn't want him to speak.
It probably gates to like a certain level.
Probably,
So
yeah.
Got that nice face.
Yeah, that's true too.
Yeah,
Your phone does not pick
You're
up.
here in person.
So, I mean, unfortunately, this will get posted after your show tonight. But I mean, as far as the tribe coming up, in the future, how can people kind of catch you guys?
Sure. So Tuesday in Reading or Tuesday in Summersville Theater. Well, obviously we're in Reading tonight, but like you said, it'll be after. That's really like what we have booked, as far as 2021 is concerned.
We have the V spot in March.
We have the V spot in March. So if
Okay.
you want to, there'll be another chance to like see us in person. But I think, for the moment, we'll probably pivot more towards online just because that seems to be like what's more viable. Just for the momentary, push of the record.
And until it gets next, I think.
Yeah, it's hard to do this stuff like in the cold outside. When it gets warm, there'll be people putting on events outside. So
Yeah, and I feel like your vibe is probably more meant for outside, summertime, feeling
yes,
good, So that's good, right?
definitely. Yeah, man.
But
Also nice for the middle of winter, dark cold winter. You pack yourself to a bar and dance your ass off with some tribe.
there is that too. There is that too.
When did we do V Spot? Was it December? November. That was a fun show, and
That was fun.
and the place was like at its limited capacity, and I thought it was like a great time and like something that I didn't realize I had missed so extremely. Like,
Yeah. So what's it like playing? I mean, you're playing shows, which is great, but what's it like, playing to, at half capacity? Is that, are you guys just happy to be playing, or is it kind of also just kind of like, oh, this stinks because it could be more, or like, we're just, I don't know. It's got to be a different feeling.
You know what I thought was interesting about that V Spot show in November was it wasn't like, we all know the V Spot and how packed that place can get. I think the fact that people like had to sit at tables, not get up and move around so much, it kind of almost forces you to watch what's happening in front of you. You know what I mean? Like people seemed more engaged because it wasn't so rowdy and crazy.
I was gonna say something similar there. It was nice to like look out, and everybody was kind of just sitting. Like it seemed like, I don't know if mature is the right word, but it was nice. Everybody was there, like friendly. It was like everybody was kind of paying attention. So it was cool. It's just a different dynamic. You think it would?
I think like we've been lucky enough to have, whatever it's been, maybe 6 or 7 shows since this whole thing went down, which is honestly a lot more than other bands can say. We've been really lucky, people helping us out. And in the beginning, it was like kind of stilted. People were like, you could just like feel the discomfort of like, am I allowed to get out of my table to go to the bathroom, or can I like stand in front of the stage? No, you can't. And you could kind of tell people were feeling just a little discomfort in the show. So I think like then, after not playing for many months and then to go back out to the B spot, play for a show, it was a better feeling. Like there wasn't that, people kind of knew what they had to do and where they had to be and what they were allowed to do, and they were able to kind of enjoy themselves more. So it's just that adjustment, like in everything in everyday life, that this whole, thing has forced adjustments. It's the same thing with music, it shows.
Yeah. And I mean, how do you guys feel as musicians, playing out during a pandemic? Are you guys worried about the virus, or how does that work?
I mean, like, I don't know. I definitely like think about it, but at the same time, like I have to go to Walmart and Target. So like, if I can do that, then I can definitely, play stuff in a controlled environment where, I'm conscious of what I'm doing before and after. Like in my case, at least, like I'm putting like, the business in the same sort of priority spot I would put a regular job, the business of the band. So like we need to play no matter what, regardless of what's going on, to sustain ourselves, not as individuals, but as a project. And like that was my priority before the pandemic, and that's still my priority right now. To play a show tonight with a limited capacity crowd and be able to fund the band, give people music, work with people we enjoy, and fund the band and our ideas after the pandemic. That has to take some precedence, some priority.
So there's like a bit of calculated risk, I'd say.
Yeah.
Again, the adjustments early on, it was a huge concern. You don't want to be a band that plays a show and then you read about it in the news that you're a super spreader event, or whatever. So you read about it all the time, or you did, back. So it's a lot of calculated risk for sure. It's not just that.
It's so crazy too. Yeah, it's so crazy too, because in the beginning we were, wiping down packages delivered to the house because we had no idea what this was. Thankfully that wasn't the case. I don't think, but what a wild ride.
I mean, we're just trying to ride it out, like everybody else. The band has to ride it out like an individual. So, like whatever the storm brings, that's it.
Yeah, we've also changed gears after we put the album out, or actually right in the middle of that time, we started getting some gear together at Angelo's childhood home and setting up a place to stream. Say that yet? A place to record, and chill, and like music, which we didn't really get to do too much for the first 2 years because we would just be focused on booking shows and trying to get on the road, which was super fun. We miss it, but I think I get to
It also gives us like a spot to do it in a controlled spot, where we don't have to go out and go to venues or shows, or because I don't want to make it sound like it wasn't a concern. It was an extreme concern, but you have to pick between just completely dying or trying to do even the minimal amount of work or gigs or anything. So it's definitely like a tightrope with some calculated risk, I think. Yeah.
Do you guys think that, let's say this virus was gone, everything opens up, you're playing shows full time again. Do you think you would still continue to do live streams as part of your, way to connect with audience?
I think I don't know. I think I like it. I like streams, and I consume like streaming that doesn't have to do with music a lot, like video game stuff or podcasts or like news podcasts that are live and stuff. So I like the format of streaming, and I thought it was cool that last night when we were done, it was on everything right away. Like I could share a YouTube link, and there's something to be said about the instantness of it. That really works for our band.
It's the production quality is there. It's enjoyable experience.
It's hard to beat.
Yeah. And we basically have done two after Tuesday. We would have done two really good ones. Like last night was stellar, and the one we're doing in Sellersville. Have you ever seen any? Like I think Drew said before, like more like storytellers type thing. Like it's real involved. It's really well put together.
It's a production.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not the same as the real thing.
No.
You know what else? You know what else there is too? There's this. I think we all kind of felt it last night. There's this nervousness almost that, I would rather play in front of 1 million people than nobody.
Yes.
But then you like get put in that situation where there is no one.
Right. But looking at that camera too, like having those cameras, just that's your person is not the same as a person. So
No.
I've heard that from several bands that saying the same thing. They'd rather play, they're less nervous playing to a ton of people than they are, to a one camera or two cameras or three cameras, whatever.
You like you're under the microscope.
Yeah. When there's like 100 people in the room, you just feel like you're bringing the party. When there's nobody in the room, you're like obligated to talk to a camera. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
mean, if you're a musician, nothing beats playing a live show in front of a live audience. That is number one. It's why you do.
Yeah.
In my opinion, it's why we do everything we do, so we keep doing that, because we got hooked on it. We were really young. It's never going to play.
Yeah.
But again, adjustments. What's after that? Because that's not there. So what's the next thing we can do to try to recreate that experience, or recreate that same process of creating something, we're sharing it. That experience of sharing it is it's bringing this whole shared experience.
Still connecting with people on that type of level, like, but just it's different. Like, hey, it still can be personal even though we're not.
Yeah, and I think you almost, content. They always say content now is king, right? So you almost have to continue doing some form of video. Even throughout the week, if you were playing on the weekends, you still have to like do something to engage your fans.
Sure.
So I mean, this kind of forced people to really, if they weren't doing it to start, and if they were doing, just a little bit, they can do more now. So, like anything else, I guess we have to, adapt and adjust and move forward.
Sure.
What's that saying? I'm probably gonna screw it up, but calm seas never made a skilled sailor, or something like that.
Pretty much, man. Like if we weather this, then what else is there to weather?
Don't say that. Don't say that.
That's a great point though that you made. It's a great bright side. Is that things that bands should have been doing, or maybe we should have been doing, or even like restaurants who weren't signed up for DoorDash, or like didn't have their menus online or something.
It's a kick in the ass.
Yeah, like everybody got kicked in the ass to like start doing shit right.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't know the exact numbers, but I know DoorDash kind of they take a big cut. I think it's like 30%.
Yeah.
But it's it's a way that you can still reach customers that you would never have before, because that's how we're living. We're living on our phones, and we want things at the our fingertips. And if you're not there in that space, you're going to definitely lose out.
Like we always talk about like trying to figure out ways to avoid that 30% finder's fee in the band, at least when we're doing our content or streams or merch or like anything. We want to keep it as in-house as possible to avoid like, having to be like subservient to some like weird thing like DoorDash. Like all those restaurants are just boned. They don't join it and use the utility and get the cut taken. They're at a disadvantage, but it doesn't have to be that way.
Yeah, well, I mean, you got to think too, though, and I don't want to speak and someone hear this and say that I'm an idiot, because that I am an idiot. But I mean, if you're a restaurant, right? If you want to deliver food that you didn't have a delivery service before, you got to pay someone to deliver the food anyways, right? Yeah. So I mean, there's like still a give and take. I mean, you got to figure it out.
There's some balance.
Yeah. But you guys mentioned merch. Do you guys have merch available? I mean, online somewhere?
Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out, like, is a proper distribution process, because that's another thing we're not prepared for. We were like, get all this merch, we're ready to take it on the road and pull it out of a box and give it to somebody.
Yeah.
And now we have to figure shipping, and
now it has to get marketed online. Right. It was never going to be online really focused. It was just to have it to shows, because we were always getting asked for merch at shows. So now we are thinking about doing a merch store and actively marketing merch as part of the band, which is something that you don't think about as an artist, I guess, but now are forced to think about because of the way things are.
Seriously, we could have brought it to our stream last night. And
we could have done that. We should have done that.
Well, anyone who's listening, you can buy a tribe shirt as part of the shirts for the scene.
Yes, thank you.
Which we appreciate.
Yeah, and I'm only saying that now because the proceeds from the sale of those shirts go to these guys in the band. So, until these guys get their store figured out, you can get a band shirt for the tribe online at thepopkoproject.com.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. Very, very good thing to do, sir.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to end up closing that store at the end of March. So we're a little over $5,500 now.
That's pretty big.
I would love to get it to 10. I mean, if we closed out at 10, I would be really happy.
Yeah.
So
that's no easy feat though.
And I mean, some bands are killing it, and some bands, I mean, as far as the numbers go, they aren't. which there's a lot of things. They may not have shared the fact that this is an option for people to do or whatever it might be. But if people want to take advantage of it, the opportunity is there. So I'm happy to be able to hopefully do that for all you guys.
Yeah, man.
But so yeah, you need a merch store is what you're saying.
just a web page.
It's just an extra charge, every month it starts just adding up, and it's like, well, how do we balance sales versus paying for monthly installments?
We didn't make the merch to lose the money on like a subscription,
right?
So we made to like sling it at shows, and shows are gone.
Dude, actually, this is another important thing. We were talking with a friend, Rich from Hall Consolidated, who does the events here in Reading. He's suggested that like we should start crowdfunding vinyl press of the record. So like trying to figure out how we can do that.
It's probably a good idea.
Just because people are interested.
I mean, if people are interested, it can be self-funded, where you can pay for your copy in enough of a like volume where the records will press themselves and nobody will even have to pay anything like they would have.
Right.
So that's like deals.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely a way to get it done.
Absolutely.
So what else? What else do you guys want to plug?
I mean, I definitely really would only want to plug just the record, just because we've been pushing it really hard, and we're starting to see like a return on the push, and it's enough to fire us up about it and keep it going. Because so many people like put things out in the world, and like right now you can just miss it like completely.
Especially now with the politics and the virus and the Bernie memes.
Yeah. So like you gotta I don't know, something about the record. I know it's worth it for us to just keep plowing it, even if it's for 2 years. It's worth it. I was saying last night, because we were watching the stream from last night, Carl and I was like, I wish we could be touring the record, because that's what we would be doing.
Yeah. Right.
So now instead of touring it, we're virtually touring it.
Right. And are there physical copies available or just streaming services?
Just streaming, right?
Okay.
But physical is probably on the way. We're trying to figure out the coolest way possible and give people some cool stuff along with vinyl.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man.
Well, it's cool. I mean, it's a crazy world. It's hard to break through the noise, I guess you could say. But yeah, it's a struggle, between politics and the virus and everything out there. So, I mean, I wish you guys the best of luck with everything you're doing.
Thanks.
It's going to be another interesting year for sure.
I think so too.
At least for this first 6 months, I think. But
I have faith.
You too.
So,
well, yeah, I mean, I was doing shows at Carl Hall last year and before, I guess, end of 2019, early 2020. And I hope to, as part of this project, to continue hosting some kind of showcase with bands when we can do it safely. So hopefully I'll get to work with you guys down the road at some point.
We'd love that. We've played some fun stuff at Carl Hall.
Yeah.
So that'd be great.
Speaking of playing, I feel like Angelo has his keyboard out for a reason.
No. No, it's like
do you want to play something for us or what?
we were contemplating it, and then we were like, this is too much work to come through the phone microphone. There's tons of gear in this room, and we can't use any of it to make it sound good. So unfortunately, no.
That's funny. That's funny.
Good idea too, because we left our stuff set up from last night, and somebody was sitting at the keyboard, and I think we all were like, "Oh yeah, perfect."
And then we're like, that's going to be kind of impossible. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for taking the time to sit down with me today. good luck with the show tonight.
Thank you.
Thanks for having
Have fun
thank
on
you.
Tuesday as well. And
Sir.
I'm hoping I'll see you guys sooner than later. I know you guys have the show in March, so maybe I'll try and get out of the house and get up that way to
mine.
Yeah, do it.
the V spot. Vinny's a good friend of mine, and
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
He's the best.
he's a nut. He's an absolute nut.
Fucking awesome.
He's a great kiss.
He's
Great kiss.
He's a great kisser. Is that what you said?
blast playing there last time because he was just like fucking making me crack up the entire night.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, I want to shout out to Vinny too because you know, the B spot's been there for a while and it's known for having, you know, those live, you know, or like party bands, like cover bands and stuff. So it's rare that you see an original band come through on a Friday or Saturday night at B spot, which is not his shtick down there. But he took a chance on having us down there playing all original music, and we had one of the best nights he said that he's had in months. So that's
great.
Yes, I want to
good
thank him for
night.
taking a chance on original music like
Love
that.
you, baby.
Yeah, I feel terrible for what he's going through. I mean, he's been in the bar business for probably almost his entire life, basically, and he built that place for live music and entertainment. And he's an entertainer himself, so it's like seeing him, you know, being closed down for months and then being at half capacity, and it's just killing him. I just, you know, inside, he's making the best of it, but it's not what he ever envisioned for sure.
yeah.
But
Hey.
I never thought that I would not be playing gigs, like not being allowed to do that. Like that was like a big shock for me when I was like, wait, what do you mean? There's no more gigs.
So like,
Right.
So yeah.
it's crazy. I mean, no one saw this coming. No one. And I hope we get through it sooner than later.
yeah, man.
I guess, you know, they're rolling out the vaccines. Hopefully that they get a better handle on that. But yeah. So, well, like I said, hopefully I'll see you guys sooner than later.
Yeah, man.
Definitely,
Sure.
man.
Like
In a jam-packed room, people asses to elbows, dancing, having a good time.
Yeah.
yes.
That's the
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you so much, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Thanks.
All right, thanks, buddy.
All right, see ya.
See ya.